Welcome everyone to another Airbrush Asylum live stream. Glad to have you here. In today's live stream, I'm going to be airbrushing a black hole on a timber panel. So same as what I did last week. Let me just show you. So this is the panel. I haven't primed it or anything like that. It hasn't been sanded, so I'm just going to go straight on there. I got this one from, you can get them from Target or Kmart here in Australia. I think they're about $5, but they're really good. You know, nice timber frame on them. I'm really enjoying painting on them. So I'm going to do that today. I'll show you the reference image. So this is the reference. So if you want to screenshot it, by all means do so. Just put this into Canva and tweaked around with it a bit, but I'm going to show you how to go about airbrushing this one. So basically hang on a sec, just let me get back into this. So basically how to go about doing this, as you can see, the center is obviously completely black, so we'll leave that to the end. Now, normally what I would recommend doing is masking that up, but because it's going to be a little bit more difficult on the stream, I'm going to just leave that until the end, and I'm going to show you how to just spray a positive black and then come in and re-render around the edge. So you can see we've got all the spattering, all the stars, and lots of different colors here. So we'll bring in all of those colors using a transparent tone just to get that basically sitting on top of the white. So that is the plan. Right, so let's jump into the comments. Now, unfortunately, I don't have Meg with me today, so she's not going to be in the comments moderating, so just bear with me. I'm going to try and tackle that massive task myself, so I will just pop some comments up on the screen. So we have Clayton Kumahone. Aloha from Hawaii. Ahahu, everyone, please smash that like button. Thank you very much, and thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. So get your conversations going in the chat and let me know where you're watching from. So far, we've got 31 people in here. So if you wouldn't mind, like Clayton said, if you could smash that like button and also share it out, would be fantastic. We are streaming to multiple platforms, so YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and Twitch. So I think all of them you're allowed, you can comment. The only one that doesn't let you comment, I believe, is Rumble. But yeah, not sure. I don't obviously watch it on Rumble while we're live, but welcome everyone. And let's get started, I reckon. So first thing I want to do is base up the panel with some black. So I'm just going to use this trigger brush and some black primer paint. Now this is from KALEIDO, so GAAHLERI's paint. I've been playing around quite a bit with it, and basically just fill that cup up. Now I don't know if you guys are chatting in the comments, but I seem to only have one comment. So if you wouldn't mind trying to comment, would be fantastic. And we'll see, make sure they're working, because it seems a bit quiet. Let me just check over on YouTube over here. Sorry guys, technical issues. And of course it happens when Megs isn't in helping out. All right, so let me just try something here. I'm going to just say hello. See if my comment comes up. Just give that a second. We're on a bit of a delay. If it doesn't, then I might just have to hit refresh. Okay, I don't think that comment came up. So I think we're going to have a bit of technical issues. So let me just, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try and refresh it. So just give me a sec. I might disappear for a second. I'm back. I'm back. Hopefully now you can comment. If you wouldn't mind, give it a go. See if you can write something in here while I set everything up. Okay. Hopefully comments work. Anyhow, let's keep going. Here we go. So I think they might be back on again. Hey again, Eddie, thanks for commenting. And for anyone else in here, if you wouldn't mind, comment so that I can make sure that these comments are working and then I can connect with you guys and you guys can all chat. All right. It looks like they're back on, which is good. So let's start with this primer. So what I'm going to do first is just 50-50 overlap. Just coat the panel. Now, obviously, if you're doing this at home, wear a dust mask at bare minimum or a proper respirator. You don't want to be breathing in paint. I have an extraction fan here, but because I'm live streaming, I'm not going to turn that on right now. But generally, that's what I do. I'll wear a mask and turn on my extraction. I'm going to hit the edges as well to blacken them up a little bit. So let us know where you're watching from, guys. Another coat, you can see the grains coming through. So just topping up my brush at the moment. So just giving it a bit more of this primer. Like I said, this is straight onto the panel, okay? Just spacing that up. Just switch to this camera. So a few coats just to get it nice and black. I'll let that dry off. Gonna spray this leading edge quickly while I've got it, and then we'll get into some rendering. Okay. So while that dries off, I'm going to show you something, which will be the next video that's coming out. Give me a sec. Okay, so another one of these timber panels, and I did this basic space artwork. So this will come out as a tutorial. This was done using the X-Tool laser. All right, so you can see all of these are raised up. Okay, so something really cool, bit different. So in the video, I'll show you how I cut all of these out using the laser and then obviously airbrushing them. So that's going to be coming out very, very soon. Okay, we've got some more comments coming through now from Facebook. So let's see. Royal Airbrushing using right now what brand? The airbrush that I'm using is the No Name Trigger Brush. So I'm using that at the moment. And we have Clayton, aloha from Oahu. Yeah, you're on Facebook too. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. I don't know what happened. I don't know, with the comments at the moment, they're a bit strange, but we're going to keep going. Never mind. I am planning to do a giveaway later on in the stream, one of our courses. So I'm hoping the comments will sort of fix themselves, because you kind of need to comment to enter. But yeah, let's just keep moving on with it, and we'll see what happens down the track. Okay, so where is it? YouTube is deleting all the comments. That's strange. Okay. Let me just see. I'm going to just jump into YouTube Studio quickly. Just give me 1 second and see if I can fix what's going on. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Bear with me. I'm onto it. Thanks for letting me know too, Clayton. I appreciate it. All right. Let's just move on. I'm not going to be able to rectify it at the moment. Let's hope that YouTube just fixes the issue. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I'll do some research after the stream, but I don't think it's fair if I keep worrying about the comments. Let's just start making some art, because you can still watch. Okay. So we're going to start off with some illustration color, just the white, and I'm going to pop that into this Creos 289. And the first thing I want to do is start to spatter. So just hook her up. And switch cameras. Okay. Now with the spattering, I've just got this little tool here that I laser cut a while ago, and you can rest your airbrush onto it, and basically the further away you are, the larger the spatters, up close for fine spatters, and this will create all of the stars that we want to create. So basically all of this stuff here that you see, that's what I'm going for. Okay, so I'm going to start to spatter, and you can see we're going to have nice stars building up, some fine ones. Now I am going to try and stay away from this center section, because that essentially will be where I create the positive black hole at the end. So you can see I've already got some stars there, but yeah, basically going to build up on here. So and leave the base. Okay. Right, so really building up around that edge. Like so. So now we've got a good sort of starry sky. Now what I want to do is on here, you can see, if I jump over here, we can see all these larger stars here. Okay, let me just get rid of these for a moment. Hang on. Okay, so you can see all these larger stars. Okay, so they're coming through. So basically, I want to airbrush all of those in, and then I'm also going to start to create a bit of a base for these areas here, so that we can get some of the coloring on top. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And I'll come back to the comments, guys. I can see we've got issues from YouTube. Don't know what's going on, but I'll look into it after the stream. We're just going to keep going. So I suppose if you want to comment, you may have to jump over to Facebook. So with those stars, just building them up nice and close. And then giving them a bit of a glow. So just doing this randomly, again, leaving that center section. So not worrying too much about that. Just randomly adding them in. So space is a really fun one to do, really good. If you make a mistake, just use the black and eliminate it. So nice and easy, great for beginners. Okay, so now I want to establish a little bit in a minute where that black hole is, but before I do that, I'm going to render some of this. And go over here, and you can see here in these areas here we've got some more build-up, so I'm going to start to airbrush that in and just bring in some of this area as well, so just that gassiness. Okay, so let's go back to this camera, and you can use a bit of paper towel for this as well. I'll just pop these comments back up. I will get back to comments. All right, so building up a bit of that brightness. And apologies, guys, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. They must be having a glitch with comments on live streams, I'm not sure. So just building that up. You can see that gassiness. So you need a bit of opaqueness, a base color for the color to sit on. So if you haven't got that, it's obviously going to disappear in the black because we're using transparent colors. Okay. And you can see I'm slowly building it up. Okay, so not trying to smash it on. Remember, this is a hard surface that I'm working on. So it's not like a canvas or a t-shirt. It absorbs the paint. If I pull back too far too quick, you're going to get wet spots. Okay. And this Createx illustration color was straight out of the bottle as well. So no mixing for this one. Okay. You can see how handy this paper towel is. Makes it really easy. Okay, getting a bit of detail in there now. Starting to look a bit more spacey. And I'm not going to do this part yet. I'll show you. So this bit here, along here. I'm not going to do that as yet and around, obviously, the black hole. What I'm going to do is in a minute, I'm going to spray just to give me an indication of where that black hole will be, and then I'll go ahead and re-render, okay? So let's just finish off with some of this gassiness. Just around the edge. And you don't have to follow it exact. If you want to make up your own version, then by all means do so. Okay. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. We'll just jump into some of these comments. Not a great deal today because just quick coffee. Not a great deal today because of YouTube having a bit of a crash. But let's jump in anyway. So yeah, like Clayton said, YouTube is deleting all the comments. I don't know why. Aaron's come from YouTube. Welcome, Aaron. Aaron says, this will teach Meg to not take the day off. You tell me about it. It's the one day that she isn't here and this happens. But anyway, it's more of a, I think it's more of a YouTube glitch. Hi from the UK. Yeah, YouTube is pants right now. Okay. I'm assuming that your typo, but it's stuffed. I agree. In Denver, welcome, Russ. And Garrett, hello from Virginia. I'm doing good. How are you? Thanks for joining. Okay, we need to get some color into this, but before we do so, I need to spray in this black. So let's go ahead and do that now so that we can see where we're going with it. And what I'm going to do is use this one here. Switch back so you can see what I'm doing. So just going to grab the wider eclipse, grab some Trident paint. Now, why am I grabbing this and not the primer? Yes, you could go back to the primer, definitely, and that will match perfectly to the base color. But by putting in the black from Trident, it'll be slightly different toning. So then I'm going to be able to see it a lot easier, and it's going to give us a bit more of bit more depth, I'm hoping. Right, so got that in there. Now we need something to use as a mask. So obviously you can use numerous different things. There's stencils, like circle templates that would work, but the ones I've got are very small. So I just want to show you what I will use as far as just to improvise. And let me just grab something. And we can go with just some masking tape like that. So anything like that will work. We want to spray in the positive area, which is the center here. Like so. Even that, I wouldn't mind something a bit bigger. Let me just check if I've got something a bit bigger. I don't think so. It's all right, it'll have to do. Okay, so line it up and just spray that black on the inside. You can just see it. Very, very faint. So we might actually go a little bit of freehand. Why not? I want to make it a bit bigger. I almost want to come right around to this outside edge or close to it. So that's how you would do it if you were masking, or you could tape it up. I just didn't want to do that on the stream because then we have to wait a bit longer for things to dry. I do have a heat gun handy, but I thought I'll just show you a few techniques and then you can use whichever you prefer. But you know what? I think for this design, I'm going to get away with doing it freehand anyway. So I'm working from the inside out. I'm not worried too much about how sharp that edge is because we're going to have the white highlights around it anyway. So the main thing that you want to do is remove any stars that were on that middle section. So if you were going to mask this up and you want to do it sort of at home, then I would definitely then spray the black like I did before, and then before you spatter, mask it out as a positive mask, okay? And then what that'll do is it'll stop any of that spattering landing in this center section, because the spatters, they do create a bit of a build, so you may see them underneath if you don't do that, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's pretty wet, so we'll just jump back to the comments for a second while that dries and see if more is happening. Okay. On Facebook, thanks, Brett. Thanks for joining. Sorry that everyone had to jump over. Ziggy Cat, men's, it's rubbish. Laugh out loud. Maybe you mean Meg's, it's rubbish, as in, you know, that stuff is stuffed up. Usually she would fix it. Cheers from Kentucky. Thanks, Steve. Garrett's doing well. I just picked up nicely used a wider HPCS for $75 yesterday. Wow, that's a good price. Well done. Ralph, hey brother, the painting looks awesome already. Oh, thanks. I've been cranking out lots of fishing lures lately for upcoming festivals. Don't know what my next painting will be. That's cool. Fishing lures are awesome. Thanks for letting us know. I'm Salty Jeans on YouTube, by the way. Ah, yep. Okay. Thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping over to Facebook. And again, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to look into it. I might write to my YouTube contact and see what's happened. Do some investigating, but I don't want to do that now. Ryan Barkley, hello from Detroit. G'day, Ryan. How you doing? Okay, right. We need to go with the white now. So let's go back to the 771, which is loaded up with the white. And now I'm going to start to bring in some of this around the black hole. Excuse me. So we want to work on this section here and then bringing in some of that as well, okay, before I start bringing in the tones, okay? So let's just get into it. Sorry about that. I'll got one more comment quickly from Aaron Hall. Asmodane from YouTube signed up for the course after not winning last week. Oh yeah, thank you for that, and I hope you're enjoying the course. I really appreciate it. And we've got, I'm watching right now. Yep, Stephen Nutbrown, thank you. And Aaron is asking, is there a paint kit from SPRAYGUNNER you recommend that would get me through the entire course, or should I pick paint by paint? If you look at the material list, you'll see that it's all basically listed in there. A lot of the paint is Trident because that's what I use a lot. However, you can substitute that with the Createx illustration colors, so no problem at all. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at info@airbrushisylum.com.au, or you can reach out in the course as well. There's a discussions tab above every single exercise, so feel free to reach out. Not a problem at all. And for anyone that is interested in the course, we have the course at airbrushisylum.thinkific.com, and at the moment you get 25% off using coupon Asylum25, and you can use that QR code if you wish to sign up. So 25% off for a limited time. So you can grab that discount at the moment. Just put that coupon in at checkout. If you go to pay and it's still saying $199 USD, then let us know and I can walk you through the process. I'll probably give you guys a demo later on as well. But basically, you need to apply it. So don't go through and pay at the full price. Make sure that you've applied that Asylum 25, and then that way you will get it 25% off. So take advantage of it if you are interested. All right. Let me just get rid of this so everyone's jumped on for that QR code. Okay, back to the painting. So like I said, with the white, I'll just keep these comments up here. Also, if you are going to comment and you want to ask a question, if you wouldn't mind putting a Q in there, that would be handy. And then I can easily identify that it's a question. Okay, so now I'm just going to chase around this black hole. I can come back in and fix it later. But I want to get some of that sort of movement in there. Gradually building. And you can see how I sketch with the airbrush. So I just move back and forth, trigger on and off. But keeping that air pressed down at all times. The good thing about this design as well is you can pretty much establish your whole design with the white and then just bring your transparent tones in over the top. Just feathering this out just so that I can bring in some of these parts here that look like they're flying off that black hole. And what have you guys been painting since we caught up last week? I would love to know in the comments. And again, if you've got a question, put a Q in front. Again, slowly but surely. by bit, building it up. So we'll come back in and brighten some of this up. Just sort of letting that dry. Looking at my artwork from a distance, just seeing what's going on with that. Making sure I'm happy with it all. Slowly getting there. Okay. That's where we're at so far with the white. So let me just check to see if there's any other comments. Not many today. Have you ever used the Medea New World airbrush paint? I've not been able to find, but just have a few reviews on it. No, actually I haven't as yet. I haven't had a chance to really try it out. So as far as miniatures, I've been using more of the Vallejo. I've only just started to have a play around with that, but no, I haven't used the New World as yet. So unfortunately, probably going to have to just check some of the other reviews until I get my hands on some. So we can see this is our reference. So again, if you want to follow along, you can take a snapshot of that. I'll get rid of this for the moment. So take a picture of the reference image. So at the moment, most of that white has been done. We've got this center section of the black hole. I've worked on this here. So now we're going to start to bring in some of the colors, and then that way we can see where we're at. You can see mine is slightly tweaked. Obviously, we're working on a square panel, but you can do the same. You can see it looks very overkill at the moment as far as the white, but again, that's going to get toned down. So don't freak out too much at this stage. So let's start with some yellow and tone in the yellow, because the process that I want to use is I want to go with yellow first to build up this part here. I'm going to run a little bit of yellow in here. Then we're going to bring in some orange. The orange will sit on the yellow and turn some of that red. And then if we need to, you can still bring red in, but I think yellow and orange might be enough. And then I'm going to put in some of this blue as well, okay? So we will start with yellow and establish all of these areas, establish the ring around the black hole, and work in this area as well, okay? So let's go ahead and give the yellow a good shake. Again, Createx illustration colors. I always like using these if I want to do transparent artwork, so using colors that are transparent. The Trident paints do the same thing, and I do love how Trident paints flow, and they're incredible, and I still think out of all of the paints, they flow the best. They virtually perform like a urethane paint, especially if you over thin them and run them through like a micron or a PS771, something with a 0.18 mil needle nozzle setup. And the beauty of them is you can obviously clear coat them with acrylic or 2-pack clear, but I love the transparent black. So if you mix it with a transparent base, and I also love the sepia or sepia. They're my favorites by far. Right. Side feed this time, the Eclipse Takumi by Iwata, and tip some of that yellow in there, and we're going to build up our yellow. So again, any questions, just chuck a Q in front. We have a couple here that I'll get to before we start. We have Ziggy Cat. Metal ball bearings acceptable to pop into bottles to mix acrylic paint. I see some have glass marbles, more inert, I guess, but I've had lots of free metal ones. Metal might be a problem. You probably want stainless. You don't want to obviously risk rust because that's going to damage your paint. The Trident ones, I'll show you. These ones here, a 50ml bottle, and you can see they have the marble. It's a little glass marble. So these are great. If you want any of this stuff, we can also ship it overseas, no problem at all. Just reach out to us. So for anyone that's interested in product that you see on our website, reach out to us at info@airbrushaasylum.com.au, and I'm more than happy to get you a shipping quote before you commit. So you can just tell us what you want to order. I'll go get you the postage quote to wherever you are, and you can make the decision there if you wish to go ahead or not. But we're more than happy to ship stuff overseas. It's just not set up on the website as yet. That's that one. We have Brett. What is the best way to paint mechanical designs, i.e. robot hands? Painting the season images from HBO Westworld. Well, that's cool. So with robots, it's funny you say that, because I was looking up cartoon robots, and I thought that would be kind of cool to do one of those. So let me know in the comments if you think that would be good. Pretty much like anything else, there's no specific technique that works better than others. Some mechanical designs, obviously, you might want to do some masking instead of just freehand, but as you know, I like to combine the two. So with a lot of robot stuff, I'd probably use sepia colors and transparent blacks, and then you can sort of work in a lot of the rusty look and the weathering, and then you come in with your highlights as well to bring it all to life. But if you have a color, you can put a color down first and use those sepias or transparent blacks on top. Depending on what color it is, obviously, you got to be careful with your blacks. That's why sometimes with black, I'll put violet in, or even a drop of brown, something like that, just to neutralize it, because you just don't want to use straight black. Even if it is transparent, you don't want to use straight black, okay? We have Ron saying hello again. Hello, Ron. You don't get shift paint white on that black. Oh, you mean like a blue shift? Yeah, you can, but that's if you put the lighter color over the darker color, which obviously we have with the black base. This is we're building up on it, and then I'm going to put the color over the top. You can neutralize blue shift, and that's something I learned from Drew Blair. So you use orange, and spray that over. So if you do your white first, spray the orange over the top of that, and then you can highlight back over those areas, and you will eliminate the blue shift because it'll neutralize the color. You can also mix the orange in with a bit of white and use that, so to build up your white. So it'll look a little bit obviously off color, but then if you're putting tones over the top, it's no problem. And then that will also neutralize the blue shift. Okay. Watching on TV and learning on YouTube. Okay, thank you. Hopefully you're enjoying YouTube. Leith Cunningham. Okay, you're probably chatting to someone, but that's okay. And we've got Blankens. Hi from Twitch. G'day. Welcome. Thanks for joining. And for all of you guys on YouTube, if you are still watching on YouTube, I apologize. For some reason, YouTube seems to be deleting comments. So I don't know what's going on there. So if you want to comment, jump over to Facebook, or even you can see Twitch works as well. Okay, we have the yellow in the airbrush now. Let's get started and bring that into the design. So from a distance, I'm just going to dust that around the edge. Like so, and then bring some of that out into these areas here, as we want a bit of a base, and it's going to be orange anyway. And you can see how well that color sits on top. Works really well. And bringing some of that color in there as well, and along here. So I might just have to fog in a little bit more in here for that blue to sit on, because this has taken up a lot more of the white. So I'm probably going to do that next, just so that I've got a good base to work with. Okay, pretty happy with that. A little bit along here. So, okay. Now, we're going to go to white, and then we'll switch to blue. So just going to fog in here. Keep it reasonably controlled, because I don't want to go back all over the yellow that I've just done. So I'm just filling in these gaps. Along here as well. And that way my blue will have a base to sit on, because obviously if I don't do this, it's going to disappear on that black. So this is where you could then switch to a more opaque color. But I just find that the transparent ones over a white base, they just look so much brighter. Okay. So now you can see I've worked in this area here just to build up more of that base, and along here a little bit as well. If I switch back to where we're at with the artwork, and you can see some of that wood grain coming through as well. So not a bad look. I don't mind it. Now some cerulean blue, again by Gratex, and I'm going to bring that in around the yellow areas before I start using that orange. Just pop some in the airbrush. And I'll switch back. Building that tone over the top. I'll be going back in and doing some highlighting as well. So it's not just going to stay like this. I just want to get a tone on pretty much all of it. Okay. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. So that's the blue. Okay, we're getting some comments now from YouTube, which is great. So we've got Jamie Coslado, Hi Master Umbrazo from Madrid, Spain. Welcome, welcome, thank you. We have Brian Moore moved over to Facebook. Thank you. Hello, guys. Hello to you too. Another YouTube comment, so it might be back. So Rob's Airy, how are you? I'm good. I'm good now. Seeing that some of these comments are coming through from YouTube. Good to see. We've had a bit of technical issue today. And as I mentioned, Megs isn't here to moderate the comments, unfortunately. So I am steering the ship today, doing the best that I can. But yeah, she definitely does an amazing job. And without her here, it is harder, but especially when we have all these technical issues. But anyway, I hope you guys are still enjoying it. Time to move on. Keep this going. Even if there's technical issues, it doesn't matter. We move on. Happy anniversary. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. That was yesterday. Really appreciate it. Okay. Now look what's happening to me. You can hear that. I have a leakage. I've had this hose for so long. Today's live stream is just one of those streams, I think. But again, we continue. I will switch my hose later on, but I do have a pinhole in there now. So that's great. It's real handy when you're trying to paint live. All right. Let's get some orange in there. Had to check, make sure that wasn't red. Okay. YouTube seems to be working again, which is good. I never use gloves. I used to. Yes, I did. I used to, Eddie. Thanks for the question. Mainly when I did automotive work. I don't do commissions anymore, so I don't really paint a lot of automotive stuff. But if I did do automotive work, I'd always wear gloves. and I'd always have my leading hand that I would rest on the surface, I would use gloves, because obviously you're stopping any of that oil coming off your fingers that could potentially contaminate your artwork. So always keep that in mind. So good point to raise. If you are working on anything automotive or anything that is a surface that you don't want to, if you want to rest on it, then you should wear gloves to protect the surface so that you don't have any reactions, and especially if you're going to be clear coating. So that's exactly why I used to do it. And while we're on the clear coating topic, all of these paints, so the illustration colors, the Trident paints, can all be clear coated with acrylic and 2-pack clear. And basically you can also use an intercoat clear, which is what I used to use. So I'd use an SG100 intercoat clear by House of Color, and I'd spray that over my artwork whenever I was done, and then I'd take it off and get it clear coated by the painters that I had working for me. So they would do that for me. I would just focus on the airbrushing. So that's how I used to do all the automotive stuff. So intercoat clear is a great option, and as well, if you are going to tape over an artwork, then it's also important for that, because it can protect the paint as well when you're laying masking tape on it. If it's really involved masking and 3D graphics and you're really scared about affecting something, or if you've got a candy color that you've used, then I used to always get it clear coated with 2-pack clear, and then my painter would wet sand everything flat, and then I'd do the artwork, and then we'd re-clear it after that. Okay. Brian says, happy anniversary. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Let's get some of this orange on there. We're just going to dust in from the edge. I still want that yellow to shine through. Some of it I want to tint to orange. So I'm just following my reference image. You can see building it up slowly. Doing around the edge first, and then I'll come into this center section. Okay, now bringing some of that orange in here as well. Don't worry, this will all get cleaned up at the end. This is just layering some of these colors on there, following the shape of that black hole. And I'm just going to spray. I'm kind of spraying, aiming in that black section, but allowing some of that overspray to go on the yellow. I'll clean up the black at the end as well. So don't worry too much about that. Right, but you can see now we've got that orange in there. I'm going to need to get that a bit brighter, which I'll do in a sec. But what I want to do now is just get a bit of violet in there. So let me just grab another airbrush. Okay, we've got some people that are trying to raid the stream. Oh, great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And thank you. All from Twitch. Well, this is good. So let me see what I can do here. Got some more people from Twitch. Okay. All right. So what I want to do is, I'm just going to get rid of that for a moment. And we need to bring some white back in there. Like I said, now I'm going to work in some of this violet. So if I switch back to this one here, you can see we've got some of that violet kicking in there. You might not be able to really notice, but anyway, it's sitting in there. So we're going to bring some of that in and do that now. So let me get next airbrush. Actually, we'll use the one with the blue. Let's go to that. Bear with me for a sec. Got to remember which one I used for the blue. So it's the yellow. The reason being is then I can just move on without having to waste too much time cleaning. I think it was this one. There we go. So this one here. So I'm just going to tip this out and give it a quick rinse through the color cup, and then add some violet in because the color is very simple, very similar. So we don't have to worry about doing a complete clean. I'll do that at the end of the stream. Right. Okay. Blast this out. Just give me a moment. Giving it a bit of a clean with just a baby wipe, always handy. And some of the violet, there's a blue violet or a violet in the illustration colors. I'm just going to use violet and pop some of that in the color cup, and then I'll blast it through. By doing this, you are going to waste a little bit of paint, right? But it's fine. It's just a quicker way of giving it a bit of a flush through. And now I've got that violet coming through. So let's switch back to this view. And we'll bring in some of that violet along the edges. Again, just going to get this happening first, and then I'll probably brighten up some of those areas. And remember in the comments, if you have a question, if you wouldn't mind, put a Q in front of it. If you're on YouTube and YouTube is working again, then you by all means can super chat, and that'll help me to see your question and prioritize it. But I don't know if YouTube is back on board or not. At the moment, we seem to be having a lot of convo from people watching on Twitch, so appreciate you guys on Twitch that are watching. All right, so getting that violet in there, I'm going to bring a little bit in over the orange, just in certain areas. But we're going to come in and tighten this up in a minute, just establishing all of the underpainting. And as with most artworks, they tend to look a bit crappy until you bring in some of that final detail. Okay. I need to get the white back on there. Okay, so we've got a bit of feedback here that the chats aren't working again on YouTube. That's a bit annoying. I don't know what's going on. And we've got, what's your panel material? This is just a timber panel from Kmart or Target. I got it from there. Yeah, you guys can just chat, no problem at all. Just go ahead and chat within the comments. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. We just got to write it off today, I think. Okay. Back again with white. So I just want to brighten some of these areas up to get more, basically get a much brighter color coming out. Okay, so it needs to be airbrushed over the top. And then I'll tone it back down again, but that will allow for the paint to sit on top and become nice and bright. I'm going to go ahead and also brighten up some of these stars. So as with most artworks, it's a layering process. And you can see how that white sort of brings everything back together. So in here, I'll just pick out some of these leading edges. Brighten up around here. Little dots and dagger strokes, or rat tail strokes as some of you will call them. Following the shape of that black hole. And again, if you've joined late, all of these live streams will remain up for the replay, so you can always catch up and give this a go. So you can see now how we've got that nice black background color and the white highlights are sitting on top, creating a sense of depth. And if you do have a go at any of these live streams, by all means tag us on social media and we can share it for you. Especially if you're on Instagram, it works well there. We'll just, we can at least share it to our stories. Always love seeing what you guys are creating and how our videos are helping. So I'd be definitely interested to see some of these created by you guys. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, let's grab another brush and brighten up some of that toning that I've just finished. So if we look at our reference in this area here, we definitely need to go a bit brighter. So I've got to try and get my yellow back. And just trying to find that for the moment. That's the violet. Okay. Got the yellow. Let's have a quick look at comments while I'm here. Okay. Okay, you guys. Apologies, I just dropped off. I totally dropped off there. Today is just one of those days. Okay. Let me just get back into everything. Okay. So here we have the image. Let's just go back to this. We've got the yellow. Yeah, these messages are posting. Yep, so we can see all them. Thank you, Brian. Glad you're enjoying it. Someone said, thought it was my TV. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I hit the wrong button and it moved me out of this program. I hit the side button and it just switched. And yes, I changed the day and maybe that's what stuffed it as well. So today's been just a mess, but let's just keep moving on. We need to persist. It's live, so these things happen. Right. So back with the yellow, I just want to brighten it up a little bit more on the white. See how much brighter that is. So just a few layers. Slowly but surely. And working back over here as well. You can see how much brighter that is already just by working back over the top. I'll do the same with the blue in a minute. So again, you can just keep working these layers. And the more white you put down, the more tone you're going to get and the more saturation. All right, let's get a bit of blue on there as well. I have to turf the violet that I've got now and just do the same as what I did before with the blue. Flush that through. So just flushing through the airbrush at the moment, guys, so just bear with me. I'll try and answer some comments while I can. Okay, we'll get some cerulean blue in here first. We've had it all happening today. No comments on YouTube. No Meg in the comments to moderate. I jumped out of the stream by accident, and I've got a leaking airbrush hose. I mean, what else can go wrong? Right, let's go. Just going back through questions. Do you prefer candy or transparent, and why? Good question. So transparent probably is my preference. Like, I do like candy if you're going to work over the top of artwork. So you can do all black and gray, say skulls, and then bury them in candy. And it works really well if you're using automotive candies. I've used the Candy 2.0 as well. They work very similar to that, so they're great. The only problem with candy is that you have bleed through issues. Okay, so you've just got to be wary of that and always clear them to protect it, especially if you're going to go over the top with artwork. Because if you don't, then what will happen is unplug that for a moment. What will happen is that the candy will seep back through to the top layer. Okay, so all of your white would essentially, if it's say a red candy, would go pink. Okay, so just you got to keep that in mind. So that's why I prefer using transparent paints. But sometimes you just have to use a candy. Sometimes it just works better. Okay, so keep that in mind too. We have Ziggy. As I mostly do conventional painting, I'm just an occasional airbrusher. I'm assuming some airbrush colors are more light fast than others, as it is with heavy-bodied acrylics. I'm currently airbrushing another bonnet cover for our motorhome and have just realized it might not be as robust as my normal paints. So most of the airbrush paints, so I can speak for Trident, I can speak for illustration colors by Createx, they're all made with automotive grade pigments, so therefore they are light fast. There's no issue with fading. You do want to clear coat them with a 2-pack or acrylic clear. That said, the fluoro colors are not light fast, so just be wary of that. If you're using any fluoros, they will fade out over time under UV. So you can get a UV additive, which you can add to your clear, so that helps to prevent this, but it's the fluoros, from my experience, will still fade out. So just, if you are going to do it, don't obviously use fluoros on a bonnet. If you're going to need to use them, you could use them on the side of the vehicle where it's getting less of that UV. But generally, I stay away from using fluoros on automotive surfaces. Fluoros are really good for anything interior, and also for murals where you want to use a black light or something like that. They will glow under black light. So there's that as well, which is good. Brett says, time for a pint after this. Yes, I think so. Although it's a bit early here for a pint. it'd be about lunchtime. I suppose it's not too early, but yeah, why wait? Exactly. Doing great. Working on another Skelly. Excellent. Driving in the midnight full moon from inside the cab. Very cool. Okay. We have, since I've been watching on YouTube, my experience and techniques got a lot better. Thank you. I'm glad it's helped. Appreciate that. Bobby, last week's winner of the course. Happy anniversary, Carsten and Mrs. Meggs. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, Meggs isn't here to moderate comments today, but I'll pass that on to her. And good to see that this is a YouTube comment, so maybe it's fixed again. I don't know. We've had some issues, Bobby, with YouTube, that it's been deleting comments for whatever reason. But anyway. Someone from Twitch, Heritage, I caught your recent stream and generally enjoyed the energy and atmosphere you built. Twitch partner, oh, this is just, okay. It's a bit of a spammy thing, so let's not worry about that. Okay. Now we have cerulean blue. Let's go ahead and get some of that in here. Okay. And I'm just going to dust back over some of these areas. So where we've gone brighter with that white, you see now that blue is going to stand up on that, giving us an additional layer, and on top of that violet. Okay. Okay. We're getting there. Now, need a bit more, I think, orange into it. So, back with the white. And I want to brighten up some of those areas. Now, I'm going to, this is just one thing after another, but bear with me. I'm going to switch over my hose, okay? I'm going to switch. This is driving me nuts, and it's probably annoying you guys listening to the leaking constantly. So just give me a second. I'm just going to switch it over, and hopefully that'll stop the issue. It's bugging me. So just taking off that quick connect, get rid of that hose, and just hook this back on. 9 times out of 10, finger tight is fine. Right, so we should be ready to go. Sounds good. Sounds better already. Haha, perfect. Right. A bit more white highlighting. Working a bit closer now. I want to really just get some of the detail out. And if we look at the reference, if I zoom in, if I can zoom in, hang on a sec, like so, you can see here, this is what I'm trying to go for. All of this. All right, so you can see we've got quite a bit more rendering in there, and it's almost like back and forth strokes. So really tight dagger strokes. So let's get a bit more of that in there. I think it looks cool the way it's looking, but I think it could be a lot better. And I think we'll bring a bit more orange in there. So what I'm going to do is really bring in some of that using the white. I know it can be frustrating because you've got to rebuild on what you've done, but this is what it's all about if you want it to look a bit more impressive and not as flat. So just building that white, adding in a bit of that texture by doing the tighter strokes. Okay. Happy with that. I know that I've eliminated a lot of it, but that's fine. I'm going to dust a little bit along here too, so we can get a bit of that glow. And anyone that's interested, remember our online course is currently 25% off for a limited time. You've got to use code Asylum25 at checkout. Okay. And just give you this one so you can see. That's the code that you need to use if you are interested. All right, go ahead and let's get some orange in there. So just trying to find the airbrush with the orange. Here we have it. Just switch to this. The hose is much better now, which is a good thing. Something's working. Okay, get some orange in. 41 people on. Thanks for joining. Hopefully YouTube comments are now starting to come through. I've seen a few, but I think it's stuffed us all up from not working from the start, but we're getting there. Okay, here we go. Let's get some of that orange in, just around the edge. So even though I'm coating those areas, you can still see the strokes underneath. And that's the beauty of these transparent colors. It doesn't eliminate your detail. Just dust in here a little bit. I'm going to clean all that up with the black, but blend that in. And now back with that yellow. Anyone that wants to sign up for the course, here's the QR code just in case you're interested. Okay, the reference. So now we've just done this again. So I'm just going to bring in the yellow just to sit on top of that white now that I've got on here. As you can see, it's still a bit too white. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll leave the course link up as well. And let's get the chat popping up as well. We've got a few more comments, so I can see the messages. Yes, they are working. So thanks for jumping on. Hello to Henry, Eddie, testing, Universal Cat. So yeah, we've got YouTube seems to be working at the tail end of the stream. So that's great. Brian, yep. Sorry, I'm just flicking through. Yeah, good to see. Okay, so YouTube chat's working again. So thanks for pointing that out, guys. Appreciate it. I'll have to figure out what went on. I have no idea. I think there might have just been a glitch, either with the platform that I'm using, which could be the problem. StreamYard, fantastic platform because you can multi-stream and obviously do all this fancy stuff with comments and switching cameras and all that sort of stuff. But perhaps, I don't know, somehow the comments got disabled, or it's just a YouTube error. I mean, it might not be StreamYard because it seems as though YouTube was the only one that had comment issues. I mean, we were getting comments from Twitch, we were getting comments from Facebook. So all those platforms were working. But yeah, I'm not sure. So that's a bit brighter, much better. I'm happier with that. So I'm going to get in with some of the black into the center of that black hole. So I'm going to use the Eclipse for that. And look, we will do the course giveaway. I'm not going to let you guys down. I know a lot of you come here regularly. We really, really appreciate it. And I don't think it's fair just because of some technical issues that we shouldn't do it. So the odds might be in your favor today, but I will run the course giveaway. So you just need to be able to comment. I'll give you a little bit of extra time today as well, just to get those comments in. And I'll give you the keyword soon once we wrap up this design. And for anyone that is interested, and if they don't win the course today, you can still grab it 25% off for a limited time using code Asylum25. All right, so I've cleaned up that black. Now what I want to do is I will just jump over to my white again. Sorry, it's a bit of a back and forth design, but it's good for you guys to see what goes on. Just got to get the white. Just give me 2 seconds. There's so many airbrushes here. I keep forgetting which one's which. Oh, here it is. 289's got the white in it. Okay. So just brighten up close this time and just be a bit more definite with it. So I don't want to be putting too many highlights everywhere. I want to do finer highlights. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going back and forth, back and forth. So tiny little bright sections and dagger strokes just to really give that a bit of a glow. Always look back at your artwork too. So from a distance, and you can see how much the white actually changes the design. Do some little highlights through here as well. But again, doesn't need much. Just take your time. If you are following along with this, or if you're giving it a go on the replay, and you do happen to stuff up with the white and it's too much, then just get a bit of the yellow or the orange and retone it, and that will knock it back in. It will just give you that extra layer. But that's a good way to kind of fix any issue that you may have. Do some on the top here as well. And I'll jump back in the comments soon, guys. I've just make a bit more progress here. As you probably noticed, Meg isn't here to moderate today. She usually handles a lot of this chat that goes on. So you just got to bear with me. I will jump back in a moment and answer questions. So if you do have questions, if you wouldn't mind putting a Q in front, or if you are on YouTube, you definitely can super chat. It's not essential, but that will highlight your question and get it answered straight away or more quickly. I'm not going to miss it, let's put it that way. We're getting there. We are getting there. There's actually quite a lot involved in this design. Quite a lot of layers. More than what you actually think when you see the reference. But lots of fun painting, that's for sure. Again, I'm just squinting my eyes as I go. Just that cuts out all the detail and just shows me the shapes and shadows and where I need to go brighter, where I need to leave it darker. Again, if you have a go at this, please tag us on social media so that we can reshare. Always love seeing what you guys achieve and watching our videos. Just doing a couple more dot white highlights. Getting a bit of tip drawing. Okay. Now I'm just going to switch to a transparent black. But all right, let's get into the comments before I do so. Okay, we've got a few. Okay, sorry, just going back. Bobby's been out of power, so sorry about that. That's maybe why you haven't had a chance to do a lot of the course from what I can gather. Hope you enjoy it when you get your power back. That sucks. Okay, I have a tendency to put my artwork right beside my painting. That way I can sort of look at both of them. Yeah, that works, definitely. Bobby asks, what are the rules as far as winning once a year thing? How does that work, sir? So, okay, obviously you've won the course. You won it last week. So if you win it again, then we would redraw it, unless you know someone that you want to gift it to. But yeah, we want to try and be fair, or just maybe don't enter because you have won it before. So we sort of do that on good faith. There will be another course, as I mentioned a couple of streams ago, that will be the Dragon course that will be coming out in the next, hopefully, few months. So then we'll do some giveaways on that one, and we'll probably alternate between that and the introductory course. Okay, so hope that answers your question. Any idea on restoration? I don't know if that one's directed at me, but if so, Yes, you can use airbrushing for restoration, custom painting, obviously. It's a lot of work. I would recommend getting your own painter to do that side of it and just focusing on the artwork. There's more to it than what people think. And a lot can go wrong, and then it becomes costly for you. So that would be my advice if that's what you're asking. Just looking, sorry. Notice, question from Bill. Notice when using transparent paints, they seem to muddy up. What's the best way to mitigate? I'd probably say do more white. So build up a brighter base, or if you're working on a white base, well, then it makes it easier, or don't go too heavy. There's sort of a point where the more you go, it's kind of like a candy and it'll darken and darken. So by just going a bit lighter with them, that will keep them brighter, if that makes sense. Or, like I said, on a dark surface like what I'm doing today, you need to put a lot more white down. You can notice that, I don't know how far you've been watching in the stream, but building up your tone of white will obviously help to brighten up those transparent colors. Sorry, just looking. Just a bit of chit chat in the thing. Okay, so frosts, yeah, we're nearly done, but glad you joined. Remember, these are always available on replay, so don't stress too much. You can always come back. Colors darken and dull. Brush control, yes, but still seem to get ugly. Yes, that does happen. Just got to keep them bright if you can. Brian says, I have a tendency to put my art in the trash can. Yeah, that's it. Try not to do that. Trust me. It's you're better off just to continue, finish the artwork, and do your best not to lose or become disheartened with it. I know it's frustrating. I know you want to put it in the trash, but at least try and finish it. Then you can throw it in the bin, because then at least you've learned something from the process. So if you go halfway through and you think, oh, this is turning out crap, and you bin it, well, then you're not going to learn anything going forward. And as you can see, even from the artworks that I've been doing, you can see them progressing, and halfway through they look terrible. So just keep going with it. Don't give up. Okay. Right, a bit of transparent black, I think, and I will leave it at that, I reckon. I mean, I could keep going and going, but I think it's given you enough indication of how to create this artwork. The transparent black, I just want to basically give it a bit more contrast, that's all. Just in certain areas. I'm also going to get rid of this banner quickly, so you've all seen that. The online course, again, 25% off, and there's the details if you wish to enroll. And we're going to do a course giveaway soon, so stick around. You have to be present in the stream. So now with this transparent black, I've got to get rid of this so you can see. Sorry. I'm going to be working in off the edges. Okay, so just so that doesn't just end abruptly. Just bring some of that in to add a bit more depth and shape. Doesn't need much. And apologies if I've missed anyone's questions. Like I said, Meg isn't here today to moderate, and I know she does a fantastic job writing back to everyone. So in one sense, it's probably lucky that YouTube comments were disabled for a fair amount of the stream. It's made it a little bit easier for me to manage, but I will try and get back to some more of you before the stream ends. to bring in some detailing off here as well. So that way it's not just ending. It's kind of bringing in that detail and then working into that yellow and orange. Plus this allows me to just clean up a bit of the overspray. And what do you guys think of the space artworks? Are you enjoying them? They seem to do really well on the channel. Our most viral short video has been the solar eclipse. And it still amazes me that that's been so popular. I think it's around 12 million views now on that one. So I'd love to know if you guys all enjoy watching the airbrush space. We can do some other cool images if you wish in other streams. Or if you have any other suggestions for me, please comment below. Because ultimately, you guys are the ones watching, so I don't really mind what I paint. I just try and keep it so that it runs for about an hour or two. Obviously today has gone over a bit. This, had I had Meg in the comments and we didn't have all these technical issues, this would have probably been finished an hour and a half in. I think we're at nearly 2 hours. That's okay. All right, just bring some of that in here as well. Just be careful, don't overdo it. Still got 40 people in here, really appreciate it. Just bringing that in off the edges here so that that doesn't just end and we have it blending in nicely. Almost done. You see that transparent black as well has just added a bit more depth. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Look, I could keep going and going and going, but I think I'm going to leave it there. Now let's do the giveaway. Okay. Oh, before we do that, hang on. So you can have a look at the completed art. So you can still see a bit of that texture in there. But you can see how all those colors work in. So lots of fun. Okay. Let's just get this moving. So we'll go back to here. And you've also got, I just want to show you this too. So these artworks will be available. I haven't posted last week's artwork as yet, but I will. So you can see these ones, that price will go up now because the auction is finished. But generally what will happen is they start at $149.95 Australian dollars if you want to own one of these original artworks. They're one-offs, obviously. It's what you see airbrushed in the live stream. So they're signed. There's only ever going to be one. So if you do want one of my originals, this is the best way to do it. If you have issues with the shipping overseas, then just reach out to us and at info@airbrushasylum.com.au, and we can help you out there, no problem at all. So that is in our website. You can find that, no problem at all. And then we need to do the giveaway. So let's do that now. So what I want you to type in is space, hashtag space. So just type that into the comments right now, and we will do the giveaway. Cheers. Let's hope this works. So hashtag space here, there we go. We're getting entries coming in. So 8, 9, 10, perfect. I'll give you guys a bit more time, so just keep going. I'm just looking. Okay, I'm just popping up some other comments. Would one be eligible for Dragon or just choice of one? So what will happen is, obviously, once the Dragon course is released, if we do a Dragon giveaway and you've won the beginner's course already, so you would prefer the Dragon, you just let us know and we'll give you the Dragon, no problem at all. What's this? Yeah, Bill, some transfer. Oh, you're just chatting. That's cool. Ever did any artwork with projector? Used to do it a lot. So definitely back in the day, I used to use the Artograph, the prism projectors, which would work really well. Drew Blair's color buffing stuff is superb for learning color theory with transparent paints. Yes, I agree. He is a magician, 100% with transparent colors, and he uses all the illustration colors. Fantastic. Can I make a request for a future video? Yep, fire away. Would love to hear it. So you won't believe how many times I wanted to quit and it turns out, yes, I agree. What type of airbrushes I'm using? So in this one, I'm using GSI Creos. I've got some gallery brushes and a wider brush. Okay, just still waiting for entries to come through, so keep them going, guys. I have no inspiration to do backgrounds because I've struggled so much with them. Do you think the background should help tell the story of the painting or just keep it simple? I definitely think a background is important, and blurring a background is a good idea. So with the airbrush, you can do like a blurred, less detailed background and then have the foreground sharp, and it's going to give you that sense of depth. So yes, I do think backgrounds are a good idea. Just quickly sifting through, and then we'll do the draw. Space is awesome. Love this content. Great for backgrounds, for murals, etc. Yep. Space is cool, fairly abstract, easy to do. Yep. Just someone wants ripped metal. I think we've had that a few times. Okay. Getting lots of comments now. I've got another one here. Azza, have you ever considered doing a video on backgrounds like cemeteries, streets, or bushland? I should do that. I should write that one down. That's a good recommendation. Thank you. Okay, just okay, just sifting through. I think we're up to 15 entries. Okay, someone wants a samurai warrior. That's a good one too. All right, I'll give you another 10 seconds to get your hashtag space written in there to enter. And then we're going to hit draw. And someone's going to win the course. Okay, here we go. Good luck, everyone. And the winner is, drum roll, Bravo Brushworks. you have won our airbrushing course. So our online airbrushing course, congratulations. I'm just going to take a screenshot of that now. Hang on a sec. So I've taken a screenshot, and what I need you to do is email us at info@airbrushisylum.com.au, and the other thing you need to do is, I'll just get to this page here. So on our course page, so airbrushisylum.thinkific.com, go into the section that says buy. This is only if you haven't signed up before. And just in here, oh, sorry, that's to purchase. So actually, for people who want to use the coupon code, you can come in here and go Asylum 25, apply, and you can see that will apply the discount there for the 25% off. But for Bravo Brushworks, who just won, don't click on this, sorry, I meant click on the free preview and just sign in with all your details, and I'll see you pop up within the course platform, and just let me know your name or your email address that you're using if it's different to what you've got your username as, and then I can go ahead and activate the course for you. Okay, so congratulations again to Bravo Brushworks. Thank you to each and every one that joined. I really appreciate it. Here is the completed artwork again. So this is on the timber panel. So you can get another view of it there. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to airbrush this black hole. I do apologize again for all the technical issues, and it's been a bit of a stream, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again very, very soon in the next one. Take care, guys. Enjoy and go do some airbrushing.